Over the past few days, I was sick, and so I got a bunch of free time on my hands, and I finally got to redesigning the SW calculator. You might be asking, what is the SW calculator? That's the website that I use for speed tuning all of my dungeon teams, and honestly, it just makes it a bunch easier than just using an Excel spreadsheet or even the SWGT tool for speed ticks. I just wanted something a bit simpler to use, and if I may dare say so myself, something that looks a bit better. For showcase purposes, I'm gonna use a question that I got asked on Discord today, and that is, does anyone know the speed that Luna needs in Giants to go S3 into S2? This might seem like a simple question, but it really isn't, and you do actually need either a pretty deep knowledge of how speed ticks work, or you just have to use a calculator like this to come up with it. So today I'm just gonna show you how you can figure that out on your own if you want. Okay, so how do we do this? Here we have the green team, that's gonna be our team, and here we have the red team, that's gonna be the enemy team. So we just add all of the monsters. So you just click this add button monster, and here you just type what you want to add. There are a few useful features that are here. For example, I filled in all of the D12 dungeon info, so you can just press D12 here, and here you have all of the dragon speeds. We're looking for giants, so we do G12, and here we can see that the boss, mid boss, left tower, right tower, but we want the faster one, so we want the mid boss, right? And then we want the mid golems, 2 of them. There are also all of the other dungeons, so you can do SF, Spirit Realm, PC, and they're all here. And then we want a Luna. I'm gonna keep it as Luna for now, because it's gonna be easier to see what I'm talking about. First, you want to make her faster than the golem, and then whenever she moves, she will increase her attack bar by 100. So you click this button for skills, and here you can fill in the info of the skill. So when it applies, who it targets, what it does. So here you can do like manipulate attack bar. That's what we're going for. We're gonna increase it by 100. And you can also do like apply speed buff to someone, apply slow, for how long. You can also do custom manipulate speed, that's for stuff like chilling or the light horang. And here you can also strip the speed buff, but for just the Luna, we have this. And here you can see that she will just get cut. So you want to take this number, this 111.8, and you want to check the column where it's higher than all of the other monsters. And you can see that she basically has to go in the 8th tick. And then she will cut the boss. And then you start adding the other monsters. So you have Homunculus, and he's gonna be slower than Luna. He's gonna be like 50, 52 there-ish. Then Julie, and then Sigmarus. And then the last one is Prilia. This is gonna be our lead, so she's gonna be in the first position. I just like to sort them as they are going to be in the game, right? So you're gonna be using Julie lead and whatnot. It determines the turn order here if they have the same speed. Okay, so far so good. So now we just start to tune the Julie, but if we increase the speed of Julie above Luna, suddenly Luna doesn't move in 8th tick, but in the 9th. So this one gets pushed back by 1, and now she doesn't cut the boss anymore. So we also have to increase the speed of the Julie to go in the 7th tick. And then, of course, we have Prelia moving even before that. So in the end, if you just keep doing this, you will find that you need like how much? 165 speed on your Prelia, because you also have to have the Sigmarus move here. So first we have the Julie, and she will have to move on the 6th tick. Yeah. So first you figure out in which tick the Julie needs to take a turn, and then you add the monsters such that each of them takes a turn in a previous tick, right? So here we have 7, 6, 5. Now, of course, this team isn't super practical. I'm just using it as an example to figure out a specific turn order that you would like to see. For example, you can do a similar thing for the Kyle Dragon's team, right? There he will have 2 push-ups. It's a bit more convoluted to figure that one out, but with a tool like this, it's not that difficult. You just play around with the speeds a bit. A nice thing that you can do here is that you can scroll with your mouse wheel over these inputs and it will increase or decrease the speed. Of course, you can click these buttons as well, and that will also work. And probably you will want your Prilia to be on Swift, so you want to check this button if the monster is on Swift, because you can see here that her speed actually changes if you put her on Swift, right? That's just because in the UI, whenever you have a speed number, it's going to be always rounded up. So if your runes say that she's plus 168, it's actually 167 point something. And the speed in the menu does the same thing. So if you just add these two numbers, you are basically adding up those rounding errors. And if those two rounding errors are bigger than 1, then you would get the wrong speed, which is the case if you have 105 base speed, for example. Okay, so let's say that you created your own speed tuning team and you now want to share it with someone. And first of all, you can go like this and just screenshot the whole screen, but that's kind of impractical. Or you can click this little button that will export the JSON and then you can re-import it, which sure, it's nice, but it's not really convenient. Or you can click this quick share button. Now we have copied it into our clipboard, and here we can do a new private window and we just paste the link and voila, it will show you the entire page with the speed tuning, and you can play around here with it and it will not change anything in here. If you also would like to save this for future use, you can register. It's completely for free because it's literally running in my hallway on my Raspberry Pi and I don't care, so it's free. I already have an account, so I'm just gonna log in as that. And this stays here. We can save it if we want. That will add it into this sidebar. If we want a new team, we can click the plus button. If we don't, we can just list our existing teams. We can also delete it if we no longer like it. I think this team is garbage, so I'm just gonna delete it. And now I want to showcase how you can, for example, speed tune your bomb teams against Juno, because whenever you put a bomb on Juno, she will just get a speed buff. So here we just have a Juno that's the same speed as our Tiana. And so here we just add a skill. Here we can choose whatever target we want. So we want the whole green team and we want to increase attack bar by 30. We want to apply it on first turn. Same with Bestet. She increases the attack bar by 25%. And the whole green team. Then John will put a bomb on Juno, which just gives her a speed buff. So we want to add the speed buff for 1 turn on the Juno. Here we can see that the Juno will cut before the Sierra. And so you just increase her speed until that is no longer the case. But here she just cuts the John, right? So we have to increase the John speed and the Sierra speed a bit. And then you decrease the speed as much as possible so that it still doesn't cut. And that's here. And you just want the John to be slightly slower than that. Yeah, and so like this, if your Tiana goes first, you will always go first. Now the Juno can of course cut you, but that's a whole another issue. Right, so we speed tune it and now we save it. You can also duplicate it if you want to just play around with it, and then if you then save this one now has a Sierra with 100 speed, and this one has a Sierra with 110. And then we get bored of it, so we delete it. You might also be saying, well, what's new? Did you just put a new code on the whole page? So first of all, it doesn't look as horrendous as it looked before. A large portion of the redesign was not the design itself, but rather the fact that now it's fully responsive and you can actually see stuff on mobile. Previously, it was just horrendously broken on mobile and it was completely unusable. Now you can somewhat use it on mobile. It's not perfect, but at least you can see stuff. I'm also planning on releasing this feature at some point. It is a visualizer for all your dungeon runs. It's still not complete because they keep adding more features and more monsters, and the SW exporter isn't really up to date, so I just have to work around it not being up to date, and it's a whole pain. But I expect it to be ready sometime in the next week or the week after that. Of course, I will post a video about it once that it's finished. If that is something that you would like to see, let me know in the comment section down below the video. Consider subscribing and liking the video. Thanks a lot for watching. That's it for this one, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.